I do want to bring up something that came in the article that I thought was irritating to me, and JD called BS on it in terms of whether it was actually true or just a made-up sort of thing. But this does remind me of another article that we've talked about before. The author is saying that she talked to one woman, a single mom, age 51, with 3 children in Charlotte, recently lamented to me that she doesn't know what's going on in the election. I encouraged her to read about it. She sighed, saying she just didn't have time. Sure you do, I said. She shrugged. You're right, but I just don't really want to know. No one says anything positive anyway. It's all so depressing. And then she says, with this mean little statement, I think, she left after our conversation to do yoga and then head to the movies to see Gone Girl for the 3rd time. Okay, now regardless of the truth or fiction of this account, the deal is that there are voters who will get to this point in an election and say, if only I knew the positions of the people on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not go all the way down the ballot, but there's no excuse, really, for a person not knowing what the senator candidates or the governor candidates believe. The information's out there. And in ACE, they addressed this a couple of years ago in 2012, talking about how the candidates, Romney especially, needed to release like a 30-minute video just talking about what he was about. And he said nobody'd actually watch it, but you advertise that you've done it, and then people will say, oh, yeah, well, he's put his positions out there. And we do that in the form of 5-minute videos or whatever, and we think that's good. But they were saying, you know, voters get to this point, and they say they're undecided, but Frank Luntz is sometimes amazed at the number of people that say they're undecided at this point. It's really people who don't want to tip their hand or who like to be courted or want to feel like they're considering all the issues when they're not doing any such thing. I just wanted to call back to that article because I think that this article, bringing that up, is sort of a consistent strain, and we do need to have a strategy to deal with people who just don't want to know.
Well, I mean, see, that's something that drives me nuts, and I'm not really sure that this just don't want to know voter actually votes. I mean, that's something that I'm not certain that exists, but it just, to me, a lot of it is couching. A lot of it is not wanting to let people know what it is that they're thinking. I mean, to me, I think that's a large part of a lot of these focus groups. So that's why I have a hard time dealing with them, because there's going to be a part of the focus groups that aren't going to be answering truthfully, that aren't going to be answering honestly, and are going to go along with what the next person in line said, as opposed to what they actually believe. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here that I don't think is kosher. If we are talking about somebody who legitimately doesn't want to know, then all we can do is, as Andy said, just go in and try and explain why they should want to know. But it's going back to that whole you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. There are going to be some people that are not going to want to know this stuff, that are just going to bypass the election and not vote. And those people are out there. Sadly, there are a lot of them out there. So, I don't really see that particular demographic. I see them as people that we should try to get, but not people that we should lose sleep over, because chances are they are not going to be voting for anyone, let alone, vote for us. That's just my opinion on it.
So I have a thought that I saw today. I saw a post today by Marla Hughes, and it was for people who think they don't have time or don't know where to go to get their politics, but they do want to learn a little bit before the election. It says, go to Google search, type in your zip code, your city and state, add the word ballot. all of the issues and candidates will pop up so you can search each one. So I haven't tried it. I don't know how well it works, but that's a very simple way for people who do kind of want to know but don't have time to study, don't want to get that into it, but they do want to be somewhat informed when they go to vote. We can direct people to do something like that.
First, we have to understand what the Walmart mom is, and these are the people that we know. These are the people in our lives who don't pay any attention to politics, and they kind of are using that as a point in their own favor. They're kind of proud of the fact that they don't pay attention to politics.